Hello everyone, Ross and Etta from Retro Dream Beam. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Friday. I was actually really dumb and packed up all the stuff yesterday and went to the post office. And when I was pulling up, the whole lot was empty, but I was still going through that emotional thing in my head where I'm like, maybe I'm arriving at the time where, it's not busy right now. So I get up to the door, it was closed for New Year's Day. I don't know why it's slipped my mind. I can just look it up like when the post office is closed. So got all the other stuff packed off. We're going to drop that off today as well as this stuff. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing is going to be this combo order. It's like 2 games, and then there's also one of these adventure game books, Egyptian's Quest, right here. So interesting that they picked up this choose your own adventure book, also game book. We got a bunch of them a bit ago. And then also these 2 things, which I don't remember anything about them. Alien Struggle, some kind of game. This is Cyborg Invasion game set. So there's a bunch of like little tokens that they have to cut out from like construction paper. And then there's also the Coming of the Cosmic Prophet right here. This one also has some more cardboard chit tokens. So these are some kind of like board game or RPG game. So they picked up these 3 different like game book type of things for $36.72 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping. All right, I'm out of breath. I don't know why. All right, next up is going to be Cash by Ravensburger. Really good board game company. They do a lot of good stuff. They also do Lorcana, the card game now. They also do a ton of puzzles. This is a German version of this board game. I like to pick up the foreign board games. I usually try to list them at like $35, depending on like how many other people have like what particular language listed. This one ended up going for $13.12, so there must have been more of them out there. But yeah, some kind of cool little card, like a family card game type, like, Hearts or Old Maid, something like that. So people like to play all sorts of family games. That one's just called Cash. All right. Next up is going to be 4 Warhammer 40K bits and pieces. These are for Death Watch Vanguards. These are going to be like just arms, like their claws. So there's just 4 of these sprues. I got this huge box of like Warhammer 40K. It also had fantasy. It had a bunch of different like bits and pieces. And I ended up making a bunch of lots, but some of the stuff that was still on like kind of partial sprues, I separated and listed them separately. I probably could have gotten more money for all of the bits and pieces if I did that for everything. I just wanted, like, I've sold like lots before, so that's what I was used to, and it only took like a day or 2 to list them. So yeah, these end up going for $10.49. People like to use them to like kit bash. Maybe they want to like accessorize some other miniature game. Maybe they want to put it on the base as if it's like a fallen arm there and they get to paint it up. There's a lot of stuff people can do with bits and pieces. All right, move along. I listed these recently and they paid at 3 separate times. So I'm not too sure the total. I think it's like at least 30 something. So that's 20. Yeah, they paid at like completely different times. I'll give them combined shipping. So I think it's like around 30 to 40 bucks for all these. So these are going to be a bunch. So it's 3 lots. These are just a bunch of various bases for Warlord games. I think the game was Epic Battles. There you go. I was almost going to say I was almost going to say Warlord Games, but that's the company. So I've been doing pretty good with selling bases recently. So I listed all these. They were sitting, within my field of view as I was listing. I was like, you know what? Since it's been the winter and I've been selling a lot of bases, might as well list some more. So I had a ton of these. I listed them live during the stream. I think it's still on there if you look at the live section, the most recent one. So yeah, already got like about 40 bucks for some of these bases. I have a bunch more listed. People use them for putting their miniatures on for their particular game. All right, moving along. This one I know to keep an eye out for. This is going to be Duel Masters Booster Pack. This is, I think, a base set right here, like this. So yeah, just straight up booster pack. I wrote in my notes that I spent a quarter at an auction for this. It was like a baggie of like Duel Master booster packs and then some like loose cards and stuff. And I think I got like the minimum bid for like $2 or something. No one realized that these go for a good amount. This was by Wizards of the Coast, or sorry, yeah, Wizards of the Coast, where they eventually turned it into the game Kaijudo. But it's kind of like a kid's version of Magic the Gathering, just the numbers are bigger. So yeah, I don't know, a lot of people like playing and collecting it. I played Kaijudo for like around 6 months when they were sending out like demo kits during, I forgot what year, like around 2013, 14, or 15. But yeah, this is older than Kaijudo. It's the same game, $17.49 for 1 pack. So I always keep an eye out for that. I don't know how many people know that Duel Masters is like, 1, a good game, 2, and sells pretty well. All right, next up is going to be combo order for $19 and some change. It's going to be 3 hero clicks. This is another thing I'm going to be keeping an eye out more this year is hero clicks. I'm going to be listing the rares and super rares and chase rares and stuff like more commonly as a separate figure rather than just like lots. But yeah, someone picked up Tony Stark's car. This is like a vehicle figure. HeroClix has a lot of different types of figures. They have Colossus vehicles. They have a lot of little gimmicks within some of their sets when they make them. We have the Shield flying car, so the Shield agent's flying car. We have the Brood Queen right here. This one's going to be the X-Men one. This is a rare, and it also has her egg. So these 3 figures, I forgot what I said. Was it like 19 bucks or something? Yeah, they asked for combined shipping. I'm going to do the combined shipping always. All right. Next up is going to be Munchkin Shakespeare coloring book. This is for the Steve Jackson games, the Munchkin. You see me sell all the cards. It's like a satirical card game where you're trying to level up your character to level 10. But yeah, this is just like their art as a coloring book. So they'll make a lot of wacky stuff. That's kind of like the point of the Munchkin universe. They have a lot of different wacky things. But that's the point of the Munchkin universe, is these, the satirical little extra things you can get. $8.39. This is going international, so someone's going to appreciate it overseas. All right, next up is going to be a promo Dungeons and Dragons pre-painted figure. Where is it? It's tiny. A lot of small stuff today, which makes packing into my car easy. Were leopard, like a werewolf leopard or something like that. So yeah, I don't know what promotional event this was from. Probably from like a shop. But Dungeons and Dragons, besides their collectible miniature game, they have a bunch of like kits you can get where you get like static figures, like it's not collectible. And then they also have these like, they're kind of like these big kind of cube brick things where they have different rarities of pre-painted miniatures. This one ended up going for $8. People use these for, just collecting, or for using them in Dungeons and Dragons to represent the monster. And some people like to paint them. Those are already pre-painted, but there's also like miniatures people can paint up. All right. Next up, this one's also going international. We've had like crazy international, like quantity number of international sales, like today and yesterday. The Chronicles of Narnia 1984 calendar. I don't think this works for 2026. It's been a long time since I've read the book, but yeah, this is just the calendar. It's all clean. I like to sell calendars of various different years. At one point recently, a few years ago, I actually realized that certain calendars will line up with, other years, like every so often. So I remember when I found that out, I felt pretty dumb because I don't know, I just like never looked it up, because I was like, why is someone buying like whatever calendar from us if they're not collecting whatever it was? And that'll let me know. And I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. I didn't know that. But yeah, now I know that $19.84. Oh, that's weird. They sent an offer for the year. I don't know if that was on purpose. So they sent $19.84. We accepted it. All right, that was super weird. All right, next up is going to be a Napoleonics miniature right here. It's just like a little cannon artillery. This one's labeled NE1. Got a bunch of these a long time ago. They've still been selling to this day. I still have some listed. People like the Napoleonic stuff. This time I'm going for $9.09 for just one miniature. I had a note in my listing to relist when one sells, but that was the last one I had of that. So that particular cannon I sold out of. All right. Moving along, we have British Infantry Command for Warlord Games right here on the sprue. So this is just like what miniatures look like when you get like a box set. It comes out, and then the players have to clip these and like shave it, and then they, glue them together, and then they can paint them. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 figures in this, and a bunch of different accessories for options, heads, arm positions. $15.39 for this one. All right, moving along. We haven't gotten tins in a while, but this is a Nestle 50 Years of Memories in the Making. This is a empty collectible tin. It's pretty clean. There was this one estate sale we went to where it was like the last day, last hour or something. I went into like a garage, and the person had like a bunch of tins all up on the, like, I don't know, they made shelves for it because they were collecting tins. I asked the person up front, like, who was running an estate sale, how much for all of them, and they said like $20. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. And then they also had like a further deal when we were checking out, where they were doing like another additional 20% off everything because it was the last day, the last hour. So got a bunch of tins really cheap. We've also found tins at other places like thrift stores and stuff. So they take up a lot of space now, so it's not something that we should be looking out more for, but I do like them, and people store stuff with them and collect them. $7.87 for this one. So not like a crazy amount of money, but some of them do go for good money if you get like the right brand, or maybe the right year, right condition. All right, moving along, we have no box, but it's still the complete expansion. This is Chess Geek here before. I've never seen this one. This is another, I could tell by the art, it's by Steve Jackson Games. So the person that does the Munchkin stuff, they've also done like fighting fantasy role-playing games. They did like Car Wars, a bunch of other stuff in the past. Steve Jackson has done a lot of stuff. So this is an expansion for this card game, Chess Geek, and then no box. Not a big deal. They're probably just going to add it into their game. It's probably modular, so you just add in cards if you want. $20 $2.99 for that. All right, last item for the day right here, micro armor, but it's not the bits and pieces that you see me sell. This is actually what they come like in their packages. So this one wasn't labeled, so I just kind of couldn't figure out what tank it was. So I just showed really good pictures because I figured the person who would end up purchasing this would look at my close-up pictures and know exactly what tank. So it comes with 5, and it has the little turrets here. You see me sell like the holes, which are the bases. You see me sell the little pieces separately before. So this is like brand new in package, $6.29. I think I was actually getting more for the actual incomplete stuff I've been selling. So, all right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone has a good weekend.